question, what motivated you to switch from gaming videos to tech videos? NCIS, yeah, either you've been around for a long time or you've seen my stuff before. A great question. I had to decide. So I streamed for a while on Twitch and I used to play games. And so my thing was, my brand at the time was, I'm going to play lesser known games. I'm going to play lesser known games, whether that's retro or indie games. And so that was my thing. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it for a long time. But if anybody knows, anybody who streams on Twitch knows that that's hard. That's hard to do and hard to do well. And so I had to kind of decide and think about it for a while. So I took some time off. There were times I streamed and I played video games with no microphone, no webcam, because I was just like, I want to play games and I want to record this game. And if someone pops in, I'll type chat to them. So I had to decide. I had to make a decision. Okay, what do I want to be when I grow up on Twitch? or on YouTube or social media? What do I want to be when I grow up? And so I had to make the decision. And for me, it wasn't like, oh, I got it. So I'll say this first. So I had to rebrand myself. I'll put that out there first. Let me get a drink. And I had to caveat that with, it wasn't like, oh, I got to rebrand myself. It was like, I got to rebrand myself. And what do I do on nights and weekends? And let me rewind a little bit. I did some live coding sessions on Twitch in between my gaming sessions. And I realized that during my coding sessions, I was having the most fun. And it wasn't because of the codes I was writing, it was because they were the most interactive streams I had ever in 2 years of playing games on a screen. My coding ones were the most interactive. And so I had people, and I didn't know this during the stream, it's actually on YouTube. I was writing code and I was debugging code. And during that time, they were actually trying to break my bot. And it was the bot that was in my channel. And so I'm debugging their code. We're talking about code and we were just having a good time. And it was like one of the best streams that I had ever had because, all of these unplanned things happened, together people, we were talking about different things, and different topics. And it was super interactive. And I just felt like, man, this is great to have like a community of people like interested in what I'm interested in. And at that time, it was writing Twitch bots. And so after all of that, I kind of had to decide a few things. One, I had to dial back what I was doing on Twitch. I had to dial it back, whether I was going to switch to whether I was going to switch to the Tim outside of gaming that is me all the time, or I was going to continue being the Tim that games on Twitch. I had to dial it back, and I decided I'm going to create YouTube content. And so I started. Man, this is like the history of me over the last 7 months. It's only been 7 or 8 months. September, 9 months. So then I started making gaming streaming content. And then I realized man, I'm kind of okay at this stuff. But I just want to make content about things I do on the weekends and maybe get a 2-for-1, and what I mean by 2-for-1 was maybe I can just record what I'm doing this weekend and have that be my content and maybe someone will like it. And that's what I started doing. I was like, I had friends who asked me how I do certain things. I had friends who asked me, what do you use for this service? I had friends who asked me, how do I set this up? I had friends who asked me, why did you choose this over this? And when I say friends, it was probably like 2 in my entire life because no one's really interested in this stuff. But I had to decide, which one am I going to be? And so I had to pick. And so I decided, this is me. This is what I do on the weekends. I'm going to document it. But I'm going to put my own twist on it. I'm going to put my own twist on it. And there's a lot of great YouTubers out there. There's a lot of great people on Twitch making a lot of great content, but I'm going to put my own spin on it. It's a little bit of techno. It's a little, a little bit of gaming. It's a little bit of tech. It's a little bit of a lot of technology. I'm going to make it approachable. I'm going to make it produced as much as I can as a non-editor. Yeah, I didn't know how to edit videos before I did this, but I want to make it as high quality as I can make it and make that better every time. Because I saw that was something that wasn't out there. I mean, unless you're like a Linus or a Snazzy or someone like that, or the million others you can think of. And I wanted to make content that would were projects that people can do maybe in a weekend. So it's a really long answer. So anyways, I had to decide a long time ago, am I gonna play games on Twitch, or am I gonna be the me that I am on the weekends and nights, where I'm either writing code or building out infrastructure or hosting stuff in my basement. As weird as that sounds. And so I just decided that's me, that's me. I'm going to go all in with that because it's easy to answer those questions. I've had tons of experience doing it in my own house. I've had, even in my own apartments, when I lived in apartments. I mean, one time I went as far as like sharing internet for the whole entire apartment and setting up a captive portal and having people, we'll split the internet bill, and setting up a captive portal and sharing internet with 10 people in my apartment building, in my home lab or in my apartment, because I thought it was awesome. And I was super inspired by the tech. And then I applied it and said, you want internet access? Let's split the bill. More people get on it, the cheaper it is. So anyways, so those are the kinds of things I've always been doing, but I just never thought that people were really interested in it. And then, obviously I search for those things on YouTube, and then the algorithm says, you like things like this, let's suggest more. And then I started to realize, like, hey, I do this stuff too. Maybe I can, share my own experiences or share my perspective of this. So anyways, long story short, what you've seen in the last 7 months is me on the weekends for the last 15 years. Like, I'm trying out something, I'm writing some code, I'm trying to automate something, I'm self-hosting something, I'm figuring out some tech that I've never tried before, but want to make it easy enough for me to be able to tell someone how to use it. And so that's what I had to decide. And fortunately, Techno Tim was still kind of fitting. Funny name on that, my name and how I got it. I didn't make it up for Twitch. I've had it for a while. But anyways, so it still kind of applies because it's Technology Tim. But anyways, that's a long story. But a great question. I don't mean to, sorry, that was like a lot about me, and I rarely try to make this entire stream like all about me. But that was a good question. I figured I'll answer it because no one's ever asked me that question before, because no one knew that I used to stream games before. People know now I stream about, server and basement type stuff, or server in a rack type stuff now. And I'm happy for that. And I've said this a few times too, that like, there's there are long periods in my life where I've been doing this and I've never had anyone to share it with. And I think a lot of people feel that way too. And so, by doing this, I think I'm trying to create a community of people who get to share what they're working on, what tech projects they're working on, or what they're interested in, or just even be able to talk about technology as a whole. I know that, bleeding edge tech is super popular now, but, growing up for me, it was like, didn't have anyone to tell or talk to about that stuff. I would talk to anyone who'd listen about technology. Most of people of which had no idea what I was talking about. Still, some of my friends say to me today, like, I saw your YouTube video. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds awesome, And, by creating these videos and creating this channel, I hope to kind of bring together people who like this stuff, and I wouldn't have met so many people on this channel if one, the algorithm didn't find you. So I love their algorithm. I know a lot of people complain about it, but I love it because it found you. And then two, give everyone, a place to kind of talk to other people about these ideas. I mean, I wouldn't know about 4K monitor scaling perfectly unless Penguin Airlines said it, or, RDNA 2 was really the big Navi, how I knew it, unless Firewire said it. So it's it's fun for me to learn, but hopefully people are learning at the same time too. So anyways, I'm way in sentimental zone right now instead of technical zone. Need to get back on tech. But anyways, long story short, that's why I did it, because this is me anyways. And so I figured I'm just gonna totally geek out on stuff that I like. And maybe YouTube will find people who also like this stuff. So yeah.